Matty's here with me from down under. Chelsea just have lost again. It's getting a little bit hairy. What you saying, Matt?
Fucking man, I don't know what to say about this shit, man. Fucking absolute. Oh, it's 1 a.m. here, man. It was an early. Thankfully, it was an early game. It's just a bit of a roller coaster emotion. Stress levels is a bit high at the moment, but everyone was fucking garbage. There's not one player who was playing well today. I don't want to hear no fucking Loftus shit in playing well. This man had one fucking shot and we're praising this guy. Stop it. Everyone was fucking garbage. I've never seen a worse performance from everyone. Normally, like last week when we played United, we were shocking, but we had Reece James come outstanding. Today, not one fucking player was good, and that's embarrassing. We have to look at this because we could be in a top four race if we don't win the next game, and Arsenal win. Spurs just fucking won 3-0. Like, how are we this bad?
What do you put it down to? Why do you think there has been such a fall off from Chelsea?
That's a great question. I could go on for about an hour, but I think the major reason is we're not resting players in the right times. However, we've got injury crisis. We've got players in the middle. We've got Jorginho, and then we take him off at halftime. I'm begging that is an injury because if Tuchel took Jorginho off at halftime and put Kovacic on with Loftus Cheek, I'm going to be really, really, really be mad at Tuchel because that is fucking disgraceful. We can't be doing that. So I love Jorginho. He's one of my favorite players, but I hope it's an injury because I don't want him to be taken off tactically. And then now that's going to even go more to our problems. Kovacic was forced to play this game, and now we've got going in next week. We've got another Jorginho injured, so now we've got no starting midfielders really because Kante's injured. So a lot of the problems going back to that question is majority of our injuries, not rotating players properly, and most of all having absolutely garbage players. Like Tuchel looks at his bench and he goes, "Shit, I've got £100 million fucking lamppost on the bench. What am I going to do with him?" Doesn't even bring him on this game. He has to bring Pulisic to Ziyech. They do absolutely nothing. So we've got no squad depth. We thought we had that. I said this last season. We've got one of the best squad depths in the team. We've got nothing. We look at our bench. We've got Jack Shib. We've got Kennedy. We brought from fucking JFK Kennedy. We brought from Brazil, and he's doing nothing here. Like, it's absolutely shocking. But I always take one positive, and I always try to look at this positive when we have a loss of a game, that I can open Twitter and I don't need to see Ashford West fucking tits in my face when we lose a game, because I'm sick of that. And I always take that as a positive. For Chelsea fans, take that as a positive. But fuck, man, it's too much, man. It's too much.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I've seen a few Chelsea fans say they don't want to win the FA Cup because they don't want another video being released. Bro, I appreciate you coming on and having your say, and I sense the frustration and anger. I really do. Top man, Matt, and we'll speak again soon, brother. Thank you. Next up on the show, Alex is here. What are you saying, mate?
What's going on, Terry?
Yeah, I like the new haircut. What are you here to say?
Disappointed, but I predicted actually a loss. I thought they were gonna lose because we were in bad form, and when Chelsea goes in a slum, it goes for a couple of games, So it's like we need to get that STD off of us, pretty much. That's what like as soon as antibiotics are gonna work, antiviral medication, that we will kick in. The minute that we're gonna realize that top four is in jeopardy, I think defense will come in. But I think a couple of people said things that a bunch of players are affected by Real Madrid loss. And I think it's true, because the way that you perform sometimes, the way we played in the second leg in the Championship League, it kind of give Chelsea players gave everything to win the second leg, and you lost. And it would I think that's more problem for Chelsea right now, because than for example the new ownership and stuff like that. So that's the situation what I think we're going through. But today performance, there's no individual players that actually play good, not a single one. But I will come to defense of the player that I actually don't like, Jorginho, and I'm still waiting for Tuchel to explain why he was dropped, because I thought he was actually fine. The problem I had with player was actually Robin Loftus-Cheek. And it's not how good he is when he's running with the ball. That's not my problem with him. It's my problem with him to be available for center backs to find them, because stats on the first half was Thiago Silva had more possession of the ball and passes than any other Chelsea players. How is that possible for center back to have that many passes than midfield? That means something. And people they say that Everton wasn't pressing us. Everton was pressing us and killing us. the problem with our possession. We possessed a ball, but by Thiago Silva. But Thiago Silva is not possessing the ball in the other half. He's possessing the ball in the back. I don't need that kind of possession stats. It's like seriously, I think Jennifer's statue. Seriously, people, I will give him a statue when we will get. We'll build him for him in Italy. Until then, my biggest problem was today is I don't think Chelsea actually wants to play. I think the season is over. But I think they're waiting for the final of FA Cup. That's what it is. But I blame Tuchel for some for things of it. And for me, it was
yeah.
a couple of things. I don't know what Lukaku did, not Lukaku, but front three did in the last 3 games that they deserve to play every 3-4 games. Not Lukaku, but the front three that played today. What did they do to deserve the starts? Mount, Kai Havertz, and Timo Werner. What did they do for the past 3 games that actually deserve to start today? I want to know that. And
Mate, great question.
My worrying thing about it, if you remember, we are good in the Championship League last season, but we are bad in the Premier League. We actually qualified because of the other results. I kind of see the trend again. I don't think we're playing good for to get the top 4. I hope Arsenal and West Ham, not West Ham, and Spurs will battle their chances to get top 4 versus us. Because the minute that you put it on Chelsea, we are too fragile of a team to be playing under pressure consistently. And the Premier League is the one that I'm going to criticize Tuchel in. He's great at the Championship League and stuff, but the Premier League is the one that I don't know. I don't know how. I'm not saying Tuchel out, people, before you shoot me.
No, I get that, but you're absolutely right to be able to criticize things where you see them. Alex, great call, great passion. I can see the frustration, mate, and we'll chat again soon. Top, man. Thank you, Al. Thank you. Tyler wants to come on and have his say now. What are you saying, Tyler?
Hey, what's up, Terry? Thanks for having me on. Sorry to hear about your Achilles. I hope you get better real quick.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine, my friend. What do you want to say, my bro?
I'll make it quick. First of all, we played horrific today. There's nothing to say. Every single one of our players should be embarrassed. The amount of times we lost the ball. You know, I'm not going to go in on anybody individually. One thing I really did want to touch on was everybody's hating on Mason Mount and saying Mason Mount is a terrible player at Chelsea and stuff, but he's our highest goal scorer and our highest assister this season. And as much as Chelsea has struggled this season, that's got to say a lot. How we always talk about, top performers performing in lower teams. Imagine if they were to go to a team like Liverpool or Real Madrid or Manchester City. Like, with the things that have been going on around Chelsea this season, Mason Mount has been doing great. And I think it all started with the Lukaku interview and buying a player for $100 million that didn't do anything this year. And then on top of that, for everything to be going the way it has at Chelsea, I think it's really starting to take effect on all of the players. And, Rudiger leaving, Christensen leaving, Aspie leaving, Alonso leaving. A lot of the players are unsure about where they're going to be next year, about what their team's going to look like. It's just, ridiculous that people would want to, like, Mason Mount has more goals and assists than Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne this season. It's crazy that people want to sell him. That all that talk on the Terrace and all these other platforms blows my mind.
Well, you got to look at it this way. The fact that I believe these athletic reports. So I've got to read them in a bit more detail. But there are 3 teams in the top 6, not including Chelsea, want him. I can't imagine that Spurs would ever put a dossier together to buy a Chelsea player, because Chelsea would never say yes. So that basically means it's 3 of either City, Liverpool, Man United, or Arsenal that are after him. Now, even if you take out one of Man United and one of Arsenal, you're left with City and Liverpool looking at him. Okay, I actually don't think City are. I think it's Liverpool, Man United, and Arsenal that are looking at the possibility, right? Plus Real Madrid and a few others who are rebuilding. If all those teams want the player, there's a player in there. This is the Man United fans do this with Marcus Rashford. He's always been dead. Yeah, that's why some of the best teams in Europe right now are talking to his family to try and sign him. He's absolutely. It don't make sense. Like if only Bournemouth wanted to buy Mason Mount, then they would maybe be right. But loads of top teams want him. So no, I couldn't agree with you more. I feel like what happens in these circumstances is people pull on their long-standing agendas, players they dislike versus players they like more. And it's here's a great chance for me to throw this guy under the bus or moan about him, when actually Mason Mount has been one of your better players this year. Aspilicueta has been poor in a few games recently, but he's been so good for you over this course of time. He kind of gets a buy on this, where if it was Christensen gets so much more stick because he's never been liked as much. And I guess what it boils down to. But listen, Tyler, great call, my friend. Commiserations about the defeat today, and I'm sure we'll speak again soon, brother.
Thank you so much.